time to talk about it. What's going on in our town? It's time to talk about it. Our ups, our downs, our tries and fails, the ins, the outs. Let's reach the clouds. Things that matter to us. Our point of view. Come, let's learn something new. You listen to me, I listen to you. Cause this is our point of view.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Our Point of View. On today's show, we will be talking about home-based businesses. Then we're going to talk about the young entrepreneurs. And we're going to wrap it up with how long is too long. So let's jump right into it. What is a home-based business?
A home-based business, in my point of view, is the beginning of the new tomorrow, because you have to look at it. All of our great corporations, as of Apple, Windows, Steak and Shake, all of the great things that we love started in a garage or a living room. For prime example, Sheely Boys Production was started in a dining room. So it just...
You had to throw that one in too, right?
Exactly. Free promo, you know?
You know, a business like Microsoft,
Yeah.
you know, started in a garage.
Yes,
And
yes.
speaking from experience, I have a home-based business. And yeah, it is at the house. And just to cut straight to the chase, it's low on the funds. You don't have to worry about all the building fees and submittal of plans and all those sorts of things. So certainly having a home-based business has its advantages, but it also has disadvantages as well. So
I know one that I come across a lot. Whenever I tell someone, oh yeah, my studio's at my house. What kind of studio you got? But then they pull up and they see it. Oh, don't judge a book by its cover. Actually read it, you know. It may have some money in there for you, you know.
hey, absolutely. I mean, it just means that you are starting off small.
Exactly.
You know, there's a saying that you have to crawl before you walk.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with starting off small, starting off, you know, basic, you know, just making sure that you hit all your necessary steps before you just break out and just go big time.
But we have to remember that the main key is a home-based business is where your office is in your home.
Absolutely.
It's in your home, so that's the way you have a home-based business.
I have an office. It's in the living room, and my studio's in my dining room.
But your studio and your office is in my house, so
Yes.
it's not a home-based business.
It is a home-based business.
It's my home-based business.
It doesn't have to be your house. It has to be a house.
No, it has to be your house where you pay your bills.
Sound like mama's based business.
It's my basement.
Hey,
So you can pay my rent.
Hello.
I guess we're going to get evicted later on.
Yes, you will.
But I do think that a lot of people do a lot of home-based businesses. You have women who do home-based businesses like Mary Kay, for
Avon,
one.
yeah.
Avon, a big home-based business. You have, there are so many things that you can eat. You can sell candles, home-based business. There's so much out there that you can now do from home because you have a lot of moms who stay at home who try to find some way of bringing in some other income to help with the bills or with the children or whatever. And so they begin their own home-based businesses. I have a friend right now who's starting her own lipstick line. And she's starting it from her home, so she's just finished getting the colors together, the tubing, and all that, and now she's not putting it into a store, like you said, because now you have the overhead, you have the contracts, and your money that you think you make and getting ready to go out the door, and then they get to make all your money, and so forth and so on. So what she has done is really built her own business, and now she's going out, like she's giving me a few tubes. Okay, here, take this. I want you to wear this. See if people ask you about it, ask if they ask about the color, the texture, all of that. So building a home-based business can be very lucrative, but you have to work it.
I know for my generation with the women, it's big on the hair. I know a lot of people going out selling weave and
Big
whatnot.
business.
And
big
then
business.
what you have to realize is with your home-based business, it's good that you started on your house or whatever, but put it online. Open up a website so that you can just ship it from your house and you can actually have something so they don't have to be blowing your phone up. You'll just check your invoices that next morning. All right, I need to ship this.
That's a good
Just ship
idea.
it.
Social media has become, I think, one of the largest ways people can actually grow their home-based businesses. You know, like you said, you get your website together, you get your PayPal account, you know what I mean? So you're tracking your money. People don't have to come to your house.
You don't need PayPal. They have an app called the Square app. You slide the card, it goes
Square app
right
as
into your
well.
account.
Have that too.
I don't
I
miss
like
PayPal.
Square app as well.
And then they have the Cash App too.
Yeah, Cash
They have the
App.
Cash
So
App, just
all
put
of
the money
those,
in
I
there.
mean, it's amazing. So really, nobody, if you have a passion for something and if there's something you really, really love to do, I mean, just get your dream, you know, lay out your contract. First of all, I think you have to make the contract with yourself. You have to be committed to your own dream.
Right.
You know, you can't have other people committed to your dream and you're not committed.
Right.
So we would like to encourage you, if you have a dream, something burning in your belly, start writing it down on paper, begin to nurture it and grow it, study it. And the other thing is to find out who else is out there doing what you're doing. You know, I think that that's very key too, finding out if somebody else is out there selling Peruvian, right? And
Right.
how much is their Peruvian going
Exactly.
for, so that you can kind of, you know what I mean, you can kind of build your base around. You come in a little bit lower. If she's selling her bundles for 50, you want
Right.
to sell your bundle for 45.
Right.
Jay-Z
Or
said it best.
$49.99.
You want to know what your competition looks
Yeah,
like.
absolutely.
You want to know what it is that you can and cannot do, because you don't want to undercut yourself, but you don't want to be in a market that is so saturated that you're drowning and you're not making any money.
Right.
And so that little square that you have on your phone that takes a percentage out because of the convenience of having a square, you want to make sure that you have enough income coming in to know that, okay, I'm not even worried about that little percentage versus, ooh, I just made payroll for myself.
Right.
Now I got to worry about this little square fee. PayPal
that.
starts to look a little better now because that's something you have to worry about.
Don't they take a percentage with PayPal too?
I believe there is.
When you
there is a
try to
small
transfer it
percentage.
to your account, they take
Yes.
2.7.
Yes, and so
But with the
That's
Cash
sad.
App, they don't take a percentage. Like, once you put the money, you transfer the money in.
Right.
If you want it immediately, then you're going to take 5 cents.
The
But if
Cash
you want
App
it the
isn't-
next day, then it's free.
I don't think that the Cash App is really for a business person. They say on it, it's for when you owe your friends some money and you don't want to go there, because no one's going to just download an app just because they come to shop with you. Like, you gotta.
But a
make
lot
it
of people
convenient.
have Cash App.
For friends
A
and
lot of
family.
people,
yeah.
even
I mean, well, you can use it for businesses.
you
as
can
well.
use it for
Yeah.
businesses. A
Some
lot of
people have
vendors
it.
use the Cash App. You know, you can go swipe right there, put your account information, buy that beautiful necklace you saw right there. What?
There it is.
There it is. It's paid for, and now you taking, you leaving, and you going on home with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is a benefit. I think that the other thing that we need to ask ourselves is, what is the startup cost to have a home-based business? Because you have to have product. Do you have a savings? Are you putting away, you know, so that, okay, every time I get a little something, I'm putting this away because I do want to start my home-based business, and I already know that it's going to take at least $500 to get my business up and running. You know what I mean?
The first 3 years, there is no savings once you start making money. Because I know with me, whenever I make money from an event or gig, all that goes right back into buying new lenses.
Absolutely.
You gotta push it back into
You
the
gotta
business.
push it back into
have
the
discipline,
business.
You gotta pay your
You
bills
have to
and
grow
then
the
buy stuff for your
business.
company. So.
Yeah.
But you also got to remember, you got to have licensure. You know, when I started my home-based business, I had to make sure I got a business license through the county, which has its own set of assessment fees that are needed. But along with that, which I think is a great thing, you have to. I believe it's important that you go into it thinking growth,
Right.
because at some point you're going to outgrow
Right.
that home business.
Exactly.
Because and I think that's the goal, is to become larger, gain more people, gain more product, of course, gain more revenue.
Absolutely.
What I did was when I first started my studio and I set it up, the first day I drew out my blueprints for my real studio, like the big $1 million studio, and it's on my
Right
refrigerator.
on my. Your
Yeah.
refrigerator. It's on my refrigerator.
I said,
You said
okay.
yours on my refrigerator.
On
No, it's
our
on my
refrigerator.
It's
refrigerator.
on the
refrigerator.
family refrigerator.
It's not a family refrigerator. It's my refrigerator.
I'm just
So, what
buying
type
it.
of home-based business do you have?
So I have a fire and life safety consulting business.
Oh, okay.
So basically, we deal with crisis communication, image and brand management, while my business partner handles the homeland security component of it. So, for example, if you have a business or you work at a business that's perhaps a high target we go in and we'll do what's called a threat and vulnerability assessment. We'll go in and we'll take a look at your building. How well is it protected? If you need cameras, do you have shrubbery that needs to be cut away? What about fencing? What about supplying personnel to provide that security? So we go in and we make sure that your building or your asset is well protected. In any event that you should become a target, along the lines of homeland security and protection. So we go in and we make the suggestion. We'll go in and we'll do the 360 around your property. And then we will go back, put that plan together and present you with the plan based upon our recommendations, based on our experience and our knowledge of that field area.
And that's very cool that you do that, because there aren't many people doing that. 9 times out of 10, folks want to go into industry where it's already flooded with people and just hop on that list of people to choose from.
Right.
When you have that availability to say, look, I'm the only one that does this and you need this,
Right.
you become richer faster.
Oh, absolutely. And so right now it's great because we can grow that grow that from a home-based business to a larger corporation, which goes back into what we were talking about, a home-based business, because we can take advantage of the fact that it's small and the fact that it's short and concise. But yes, we do plan to expand it. We do plan to grow it. We do plan to bring on additional people that share the same field of knowledge that we do. So it really is a great
So
thing.
do you all have any, does anybody know of any home-based businesses other than the ones I named? Mary Kay, Avon,
Yeah, Shealy Boys, yeah.
Chili Boys.
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple, that like there's, what about moving companies that can start out as a home-based business, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
So
a one
lawn
in,
service.
There's
Lawn service.
Lawn
Ooh,
service.
yes.
Yes.
That's a great one. No, because we need to, I think that's a great one because now that you mention that, one of my nephew's good friends cuts our lawn. And that's what he does. And he started out just going around his neighborhood, he said, just asking people. I mean, he's like 25 now, but he's probably been doing it since he was 16.
Yeah.
16. And now he has grown it, into a very lucrative business for him. That's all he does. And so even on his down seasons, like the fall, like right now, come blow the leaves up, pick them up, you know what I mean? But he's an entrepreneur and he started his own business. So there are home-based businesses out there for the young and the old. Another one, the young lady who sells the lemonade, have a lemonade stand. Young people, they make their little money, they tithe their little money. Too cute, I love it. So you want to support them when you see them. You support them. You go and buy. You might buy 1 cup of lemonade. And you say, "Here's $5. I only want 1 cup of lemonade." But now you've given it to her business. Now her business is growing. And I think that Shark Tank is pretty. Y'all watch Shark Tank?
I do.
Yes.
I think that Shark Tank is wonderful. I'm just trying to think of something that I can. What can I create? Because the young man who had the little boy with the bow ties,
Yeah,
his
the
bow
bow ties
ties are
on
in Neiman Marcus.
Really?
Right.
Right.
Yes, they
Wow.
I
are.
think he's like 9 or 10.
Yes.
So I mean, it just it takes an idea, it takes a dream, and then I think you have to go after that dream with a passion. Because if you don't have a passion for it, it stirs up in your mind. You go after it for a little while, and then it dies. You have to have a passion for your home-based business.
When you start, you can't just go in thinking about, I can make so much money. You have to really start it and think how you can change the world with what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And then just know that the money will come eventually. You just got to be
I
patient.
agree.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
Especially if you're thinking about going on Shark Tank, because they're gonna give it to you.
Oh, yeah.
They
yeah.
want numbers, they want financials, they want
How much have you
analytics.
gonna
Done.
Yeah.
How much have you sold already? I mean, I love the concept of it. Now, I don't have anything just yet, Shark Tank, but I'm thinking about it.
And they want you to use this time to think about it. Get all that
And
taken
have
care
it
of
taken care of.
before you come on the show. They're gonna get you. But I believe that once they lock onto your idea, and if you can convince them that it's
They got
worth
it going. Oh my goodness, they just
gonna
run
blow
with
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they take one of your deals, that's it. You're
you
good.
But the
You're
interesting
good.
thing is they don't want to really do any work.
Right,
They
you
want
have
They want it
do
to
all
already
the
be
work.
done.
They're just
Right.
gonna
They
be
just
an
want to be
They
the
investor.
wanna
investors.
be
That's
an
all.
Put the money
investor.
up
Get the
to
money
branch
behind
out.
it.
Yeah.
So they want to see that, and I believe that they even want to hear about the humble beginnings, the fact that this started off as a home base, but then we were able to ramp up our sales and ramp up our clientele and, do all these things that equal success in the business. Which
The one thing I like about them is that they're so
Blunt.
direct and to the point. I mean,
Right.
they're going to hurt your feelings.
Ooh, yes.
They hurt your feelings. You're not ready. No, you need to do a little bit more of this, or no, you don't need to bring that to Shark Tank. You need to
Right.
take it somewhere else, or why are you bringing it to Shark Tank? You're already good. They're going to hurt your feelings, so you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
You do.
And I think that's a good training ground, even if you don't necessarily take your product to Shark Tank. Not that we giving y'all any plugs, Shark Tank. We just like
We said it like 20 times.
we just blowing y'all up
You
right
just happen to
now.
be a topic of discussion right now.
But the thing is to even watch the show to get the ideas and watch how they're critiquing people and what they're saying and things of that nature, so that you can take notes. You know what I mean? And say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I. And then the other thing is, and that was my final thing I was going to say, is that we have to be able to take criticism. You know what I mean? Like, I have a small home-based business, and I call it home-based because I really don't want to do it a whole lot. But I love baking homemade sweet potato pies. They are the bomb diggity. Right. I can put them in a restaurant, and they will sell.
Yes, they will.
However, I do not have the time to be cutting the potatoes and making that crust and all. No, it's too much. So around the holidays, I do sell those pies. I take my orders and I do sell them. But the thing is, my sons will taste it. I'll let them taste the
Inside.
the pudding before I actually put it into the pie. And there are times when they say, Ma, you didn't hit it. I said, wait, wow, miss. What you mean? They be like, no, Ma, you didn't hit it on point. And so you have to be able to take that, not be offended, but go back and say, okay, what is it that I missed? What is it that I can do to make it as good as the last time? And that's the difficult thing about cooking.
Right.
You can go to a restaurant, baby, and you have the slammingest meal. It's wonderful. You go back the next time, and them collard greens ain't on. What?
It might be because
Never
they have a
coming
different
back.
cook. The day
Right.
it might be a different
So,
cook.
things
they're
of
not
that
following a
nature.
recipe.
And speaking of which, real quick, disadvantages of a home-based business. Because like you said, you may find yourself going back to the drawing board. You may find yourself retooling your initial home-based business plan. So some disadvantages of having a home-based business are, rank up there as well.
Yeah, that's true. It might not always be as good.
Right.
Your product might not as come out, if you're making skirts, you know what I mean? I know a lot of women who are into making those big full skirts now, but
Right.
if it's coming apart at the seams, ain't nobody
Right.
want to buy your product, you know what I mean? So
Right.
we got to be mindful of all those kind of things, and we
Right.
have to, that's why you try it out on your family, that's why I say I try my pies out on my boys, my husband, and make sure it's good. If they say no, I got to go back to the drawing board because my name is on it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So the disadvantages is sometimes you're going to have pitfalls. You're going to have the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs, the goods and the bad. But are you willing to bounce back from those type of things and keep pushing your business? Somebody doesn't like what you did. Shealy Production Company, do Shealy Production go and sit down and start to cry, or do you go back and say, what is it that I can make my business better? Do I go back to that person and say, okay, I messed up that time, but listen, I'm gonna give you a free photo shoot this time because
Right.
the last one, it was me, I'm gonna take the loss. So those are the kind of things when you say the ups and downs of being a home-based business sometimes can get a little bit sketchy, but it's all good. I think that it's a wonderful thing. I think that we need to understand and recognize that we all have the potential to do something great.
Right.
We all have the capability of doing. We all have dreams and aspirations. If we put our hands to work, I believe that we can come up with some great things to do. Now,
There's a motto that I live by. Speaking of what you said, it's called DDS. You gotta have the drive to want to do it, the determination not to stop until it's done, and the sacrifice to sacrifice whatever it takes to get it done.
that's good, Mike.
I like that.
Young minds thinking. That's very good. That's excellent. So with that, we're going to take the DDS, you
The
said?
DDS.
Say it again?
Yeah, give it to me one more time.
One more time.
It's the drive to want
Drive,
to do it, determination,
determination,
and the sacrifice.
and the sacrifice to make it happen. All right, we thank you, Brother Shealy, for that. That was great. That was excellent. It's going to take us right into our next section. We want you to come right back and have this conversation with us. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back, and we're going to talk about business
Entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs.
Young entrepreneurs.
Young entrepreneurs. So
Cause
that
they're coming
takes
up.
us
That is
right
still in their
into-
mama's house.
That's going to take us
How
right
do you
into
get them
our
out of
next
their mama's
segment.
house?
Don't turn, don't touch that dial, put that remote down. We're coming right back at you. All right, right here on Our Point of View. Come back and hear what our own Mr. Shealy has to say about entrepreneurship. We'll be right back. Thank you.
This show is sponsored by the Zion Amir Carney Foundation and the BIG LLC. The Big, empowering, educating, and promoting a better quality of life through seminars, workshops, and coaching sessions. The BIG, boldly inspiring growth. Contact us at bloomboldly.com. Also sponsored by It Works, Business from Home. It Works, helping people get healthier by providing team support, personal weekly training. It Works, vegan, non-GMO, soy-free, and dairy-free. Contact Brittany at www.banderson1014.myitworks.com. This show is sponsored by The Laundry Connoisseur, LLC, the premier laundry service serving the greater Metro Atlanta area. The Laundry Connoisseur offers free pickup and delivery. Visit us at www.laundrytlc.com. Let us lighten your load. I Am Connected Travel Agents and Faithway Travel is a proud sponsor of our show. Faithway Travel would be delighted to help you plan and finance your next getaway. Contact CEO Key Hill at keyh2747@gmail.com.
In like a year or two, I'll be in a penthouse.
But that means you're going to be in my house for another year or two.
Yeah, probably.
You know what?
Hey, I'm
I think that it's great, though. I think that.
You think it's
No,
great to
I
be in
think-
my house?
I think that our young people are branching out into growing their own businesses, becoming more entrepreneurs. I know in my generation, we weren't
We didn't do
Everybody
thinking
just
much
wanted to
about
find a
becoming
job.
an entrepreneur. You were just trying to get some skills up to go out and get you a
Get you a job.
so that you could work for somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that the tide has turned in a great way now that our babies are more so talking about being entrepreneurs, having their own, building their own business. I know my son, my youngest son, his third year in college, he has his own graphic design business. Wonderful. So all my flyers, anything I need done, he does them for free. Right. But he's
Tell
great
him
at
might
it.
need something.
But he's great at it, you know what I mean? But it's a side hustle that he does, like even on the college campuses. The other thing he does is he writes papers. You know what I mean?
He does
Right.
homework for people.
Yes, very lucrative business.
Yeah.
You know, so he writes papers. And
I need my paper.
Complete with references
my
and
oldest
quotes.
son does the
Cite
same
them
thing.
too and everything.
My oldest son does the same thing. He's
lit.
an English teacher in New Jersey, but he writes
Wow.
papers.
Really?
He edits. Yes. So those are side businesses that they do that brings them income in. So I love it because these are our babies who have the thought process and the know-how to be able to say, this is my business, this is what I'm going to do, because unfortunately for us, We're coming late into the game.
Too
At
late.
20, 21, 22, what? That's wonderful to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do. And even if you work corporate America, or
Right.
you know what I mean, you still have your side hustle that you still can make your little money on the side. So I think it's a great, I salute you. And want to encourage many others to continue to do the same thing. And even younger, like we were talking about in the last segment, the young lady with the lemonade stand, the young fella with bow ties. If he's 10, can you imagine when he's 25 and 30?
Right.
Driving around
But
in
now
a
when they
Lambo.
start becoming entrepreneurs at such a young age and they become successful, should they go back to school? Should they stay in school and finish school and
No.
go to college and all that fun stuff?
No, you're making too much money.
Well-
you're gonna,
So you say they shouldn't get an
you
education?
go to school so that you can get an education, so that you can get a good job that pays.
But you still need to
If
graduate
you
from high
can-
school.
Oh yes, of course. But,
But not
if
go
I
to
go to
college?
college, you go to college so you can make money in a field that you like. If you can make money and you don't need to go to school, you win.
That's
Like,
that's gonna be left up to the individual, because
Yeah,
making
absolutely.
money doesn't. That's fine and
Necessarily
well,
translate, yeah.
but it doesn't translate. It doesn't
Right.
carry over to managing your money, to distribution. You have to understand the market. You have to understand trends that are changing, constantly changing. If you're in a design business, you have to understand design and what's new, what's old, what works, what doesn't. And schooling, while your point is valid, schooling will allow you to have that basis. It'll allow you to have that,
That degree
foundation.
behind your name.
Right, so that you can now expand with the thought that you have the knowledge to be able to build your business based on you being that young entrepreneur. But for a young person, they need to be a balance to two.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that while I encourage my sons to follow their dreams and to build their businesses, I also encourage them, go back to school at the end of the day, because that piece of paper is going to make the difference in your future. You know, you might be building, like my one son, I mean, he has his own company, Black Boys Dance 2, and it's a African American dance company of young men, really blossoming. And he went to school for 3 years, actually, did not finish because he got hired to teach in Connecticut, to teach dance, and so he never went back. Now, he's been teaching, oh my goodness, probably since he's been out of college, but now he's saying, oh, I probably need to go back to school
degree.
and get me a degree in journalism, something, so that when I stop dancing across these stages, you know what I mean, and I'm finished on Broadway, I need to be able to go back and do something else that I might
Look,
not, you know, because
But look, once you finish on Broadway dancing, you should have been stacking your money on the side so you can go open up a franchise.
absolutely, he intends to build a company, a dance company, but you still need a degree. If what happens if something happened, he stopped dancing, he doesn't teach anymore, he doesn't do dance, but his mind is still very sharp. He's 60, 70 years old. He can still go into a company and say, this is my qualification. I can do journalism at 70. I can do this at 50. You understand what I'm saying? So that piece of paper is going to be significant for our young people. We want to encourage those young entrepreneurs to get an education, get
That's
a
important,
degree.
yeah.
I wish that I had stayed in school. Shout out to my girl right here. Woohoo!
I graduate in
Who's school.
June.
I got so many of my girlfriends now that just went back, and I say girl power, right? Because they getting a degree for me and them. But you know, we had to go back and do it, and I wish that I had stayed in school when I did quit school because I got pregnant. I never went back. I wish I had continued to stay in school because I could be making more money now than I am if I simply had a degree.
It's not too late. It's not too late. I went back at 54.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
And I went
It's
back.
harder, but it's not late.
It is. And I went back to already working with the family established. So that educational component is really key. And again, it will just give you that foundation.
Yeah,
You know, we would hate, and we know it's been done. We know that you can learn about a business through trial and error, through experience.
Absolutely.
But if you have that foundation,
Business, yes.
because you can learn about economics
Yes.
and what that really
Business
truly means.
management.
Know about supply and demand,
Absolutely.
research and development.
Yes.
Those are some basic principles that go into play when you are running a business, so that as you venture out, as you grow, then you have a better understanding, you have a better concept of what's expected, what you're looking to do, and how you're going to continue on with that entrepreneurship, looking toward the future to passing it on to your child or to your grandchildren. Now you're thinking about generational wealth and so forth and so on. So it's all good.
It's all good. It's actually wonderful. We want to encourage you. I mean, we as parents, as adults, as grandparents, we certainly want to encourage our young entrepreneurs, but let's not get away from getting the education, because I hear that a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of our young people, they get caught up in the rap game. I'm going to be a rapper, you know what I mean? I'm going to be a musician, I'm going to be a dancer, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, but you don't have any papers behind you. You understand what I'm saying? Even to work at McDonald's nowadays, you have to have a high school, at least a high school diploma to be able to work at McDonald's. So that's telling you where our future is going, that you're not just going to be able to walk into a company and say, oh, well, yeah, I did 2 years of college at Atlanta Area Tech. I never finished. Sorry, the next person come in and say, I completed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You might
That
even
makes
be
a
more
difference.
qualified,
Right.
but because they came in with the degree, they're going to give them the job.
Even though they say that there's a lot of artists who dropped out of high school or dropped out of college,
Beyonce.
that shouldn't be your your
$400
role
million.
models.
Right.
I mean, that's fine. Some people are lucky like that. They they're blessed
people
like that.
will be blessed
But that's
like
not going to
that.
be everybody. That's not going to be the average person. So the best
Right.
thing for you to do is try to get your education. You can do your entrepreneurship
Or not be
while
the average person,
You can do your entrepreneurship while you're getting your education.
I'm not an average
He was
person.
okay. You're right. This is going to be the future millionaire.
Yes,
Future
absolutely,
millionaire.
all day.
And if you're an entrepreneur, you're already doing something different.
Yeah.
You're already
Standing
breaking
out.
away from the crowd, doing something that your young counterparts aren't doing. So you've already got your eye on the prize. You're already trying to mold and shape your future. So we just want you to be able to expand upon it and to be able to grow it. And along those lines, how many young entrepreneurs do you know, fella?
Me, I know a lot. I know 3 women that sell hair. I know,
It's okay.
It's a big
I know-
That's a business.
Why you playing?
Is it online?
I know 2 people that sell makeup.
Did they finish high school?
Yes, all
Okay.
of them graduated.
That's good. Did they start college?
I know 2 people that sell makeup. I know some graphic designers. I know some photographers, videographers, and I know some car salesmen, some barbers. There's money all over the world. I know people that bought a pickup truck and pick up trash, $25 a bag, or a can, You have to find the money. There's not just money in entertainment. There's money in the world. You got to think of what people don't want to do and go do it and go make that money,
And interesting that you should say that. I just spoke with a gentleman yesterday. He's an older gentleman, but he was thinking about acquiring some garbage trucks, the actual ones that go to the dumpsters and lift them and carry them over. He said because there's a huge business for sanitation pickup
Yes.
with all the construction
We paying
that's going
that bill
on.
every month, honey.
It's reeking money. It's reeking money. It's
He
just-
can come in and undercut what I'm paying. He got a customer.
So if he gets 2 or 3 trucks, and granted they're not cheap, but if he gets 2 or 3 trucks or even 1,
To start.
and he gets a contract
Yeah.
picking up this trash, and he mentioned doing upwards of 19, 20, 21 hauls a day. I mean, that's a lot of trash.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of zeros, man. It's a lot of
It is,
zeros.
it is.
Zeros, that's what it is. That's a lot of Z-Fros.
And then, as you mentioned before, he's pushing that money back into the business.
into the
Buy more
business.
trucks.
Right.
Get a whole fleet.
And that's when the schooling part comes into play, because what you can learn in school is that supply and demand.
Business management.
Business management. So
Right.
you know that you have to increase the fleet, you have to increase some personnel in order to gain more.
Right.
So it's all important. But I do definitely agree with what you said in basically saying you have to strike when the iron is hot. In other words, it may be advantageous for you to go ahead and go full steam ahead with the business, but just don't not think about the educational
Finishing
component
education.
and go back to it. We know professional athletes do it all the time.
Right.
They-
Absolutely.
They have that contract,
That $1 million rookie contract, you know.
and you got a $14-15 million signing bonus. School, what school? You know? So
Right.
but just remember, you need to, if mom says, hey, get that contract, mom's probably got a stipulation that says, now you need to go back and get that education. We agreed upon that, and I'm gonna hold you to it.
That's
So
right.
you gotta
Gotta
hold
get
up
that
your end of the
education.
bargain. You made the money, she's happy, but part of that happiness too is going back and getting that
Absolutely.
education.
And I think for even in our community, and not just in the African American community, I'm talking about in rural communities, even our young Hispanics and Mexicans, you know, all of y'all young people, everybody needs to go and get an education. You know what I mean? Go and get another level of education. I know I have a coworker whose daughter is 10 years old. She makes beautiful beaded bracelets. Anything you could tell her, the color scheme, she has them with crosses, with hearts, with, little diamonds hanging from, beautiful, 8 years old. And she's selling these, and now her business is growing. Her mother says, baby, you got to get up and go to school, go to bed. You can do some more in the morning, but it's just wonderful to see, like I said, because we didn't have that growing up. We didn't even have that encouragement or even the knowledge. We
didn't have the mindset. We didn't know
about it. Right.
Oh, I can do something. I love doing this. Let me begin to build my own business doing it. So I think that what you all as young entrepreneurs are doing is absolutely incredible. And I will say, even to those of us who may be a little older and a little bit more mature, if you want to be an entrepreneur, go after your dream. Like we said in our last segment, listen, pursue your dream, go do it. Get it done, make it happen, and then bless the rest of the world with your talents and your gifts. So I think that that's going to be something that we're going to look forward to you, Mr. Shealy. As a matter of fact, I need a photo shoot. Right.
I got you.
And you know what? Let me ask you this: do you think that entrepreneurship, that energy, that drive to want to do that, is that something that you believe is learned, or is that
You have to be
inherently?
born with it.
Ooh.
Like you gotta be.
You gotta be born with it, huh?
Cause I've been like this my whole life. Like I don't know if my mom knows, but she used to have parties and whatnot.
Okay.
And I would turn her whole room into a game room just for kids, and I'll be charging their kids to play my video games and watch my movies, and I was making at least $20 a party.
$20 is a lot back then.
Back then, when you like in the 5th grade, you got a whole $20 bill.
Yeah,
right.
that's some good money.
Wait a minute, where's my percentage?
Right.
Because this probably was happening in your house.
It was in my house. That's what he said. It was in my house. I'm telling how many parties he had in my house.
It just you gotta want to, like you gotta be self-determined. Like you gotta wake up and think, what can I do to go and make my company better? You don't need to wake up. Well, I got $100 saved. Let me go buy some shoes. No, I got $100 up. Let's go and buy a website domain and go buy some lenses or go buy something
And I
right.
love
It's a
that.
lot of
I love
sacrifices,
that about
you
our
know?
young people, the drive. And I was going to ask you, where did that drive? Because it seems like a lot of young people are now, like even with my boys, websites up,
Right.
getting their domain, getting the startup money to get the website up, naming their company, branding your company, getting your logo. I mean, I love it. Like,
Right.
we weren't doing that, but it's amazing.
I'll
Where
tell
do
you
all
where this
get
all
that?
came from. These things called electronics. You said put them down. We picked them up and we started to research different things, and that's what happens. You start to make money with your electronics.
And I guess you all start to see the money that other people are making.
Exactly.
And you have that same gift and talent and ability inside of you that you see somebody else and you saying, oh, wow, I can do that. You know what I mean? So that's wonderful that you all are tapping into your own existence.
So,
and
in other words, it sounds like you're starting to build your brand.
Basically, while you're young, I gave myself 10 years. The first 2 years when I started at 17 to 19, it's like, all right, cool. Just getting the feel, just seeing if this is what I want to do. When I turned 20, I said, Michael, you have 10 years to be doing something, or I'm going to get a corporate America job. So the clock is on. I just got to back my mouth up.
It's game on, huh?
Yeah,
Game
full
on.
steam ahead. Just sacrifices you got to make,
I love it. I think that that's so wonderful. And so those of you who are out there, our young entrepreneurs, can we encourage you from our point of view? Keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. We're enjoying it. I think it helps us as parents. It encourages us. It lets us know that all of our babies are not out on the street corners selling drugs. All of our babies are not shooting and killing. You know what I mean? All of our babies are not out trying to fight or rob somebody's house or beat somebody down and take something that they worked hard for. So we're encouraged as parents, as adults, not just in our own home, but we see it in our communities, you know, just in our communities, to be able to see and hear and know that you all are growing in such great ways. We want to say stay encouraged, be an entrepreneur. Get your dream out, make your name, make it plain, get your plan, get your logo, do all the things that you need to do. And then on top of all that, listen, pray over it. Can I say that?
Just cover it. Just cover it.
I believe in covering that thing. Yes. Get you a scripture and attach it to that thing and let that thing blossom and grow and bloom. And we want to say that,
you know, have a plan to make it plain.
yeah.
I think one thing that it is that the generation now, they see how their parents struggled and how we had to get up every morning and go to our 9-to-5 job, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They want to work their own schedule.
Exactly.
They want to make
Very
more money.
true.
They don't want to work
Yes,
regular
I
9-to-5. They don't want just to get
A salary.
a basic little money. They want to get that big money, but they want to do it the right way as opposed to going on the street, selling drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's great. I
great.
like that about him. But he didn't start doing this until his senior year in high school.
Right.
Senior year in high school. And when he picked up a camera, it's like it was like a magic ball or something. It's like,
remember that.
and he wouldn't put it down, and he hasn't put it down since.
That's
like,
beautiful.
wow.
I remember that. So yeah, I mean, I think that that's wonderful. If sometimes it takes till their senior year, you know what I mean?
'Cause
Sometimes it takes that.
when I was in school, you couldn't tell me that I was not going to get drafted out of high
Baseball
school
player.
playing baseball. I was like, I'm be getting signed to the Braves, playing with the G Braves my freshman year of college. It didn't happen, so I was like, the Art Institute came to my school. Let me go see what they talking about, you know?
Hey, but you had to work it out. You had to keep
Exactly.
the thought rolling and keep your mind, again, set on the prize. And that's the great thing about young entrepreneurship. So, I mean, talking about it is great. We talked about everything from
Come
the
sit
plan.
down, unwind now. It's time to
Speaking of
talk
brand,
about
we're
it.
coming back
What's
with
going
a
on
brand
in our town?
new
It's time to talk about it.
This show is sponsored by the Zion Amir Carney Foundation and the BIG LLC. The Big, empowering, educating, and promoting a better quality of life through seminars, workshops, and coaching sessions. The BIG, boldly inspiring growth. Contact us at bloomboldly.com. Also sponsored by It Works, Business from Home. It Works, helping people get healthier by providing team support, personal weekly training. It Works, vegan, non-GMO, soy-free, and dairy-free. Contact Brittany at www.banderson1014.myitworks.com. This show is sponsored by The Laundry Connoisseur, LLC, the premier laundry service serving the greater Metro Atlanta area. The Laundry Connoisseur offers free pickup and delivery. Visit us at www.laundrytlc.com. Let us lighten your load. I Am Connected Travel Agents and Faithway Travel is a proud sponsor of our show. Faithway Travel would be delighted to help you plan and finance your next getaway. Contact CEO Key Hill at keyh2747@gmail.com.
And welcome back to Our Point of View. And for this segment, we're talking about something good and juicy. How long is too long? How long is too long before you divorce somebody? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right now, all right.
Hey, I loved you. I'm kidding. All right. All right. So how long is too long? That's the segment we're going to have quite a bit of a juicy discussion. My first question is, how long is too long before a husband or wife, we'll even say boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, how long is too long before they tell you that they have a baby that you didn't know anything about?
48 hours. Like, come on, son. Like, we don't play that, you know. Hey,
What
plan
happens when
B,
they don't
you know?
tell you that? I'm just saying.
I mean, hey, you just broke a trust barrier. Like, I don't think we should be together because I can't trust you. That's not something that you keep to yourself, you know. Like, kids, that's a big topic, you know. What we gonna do? Like, what's up, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you say how long is too long? I mean, if
As soon as you find out, I should be the first person that you call. You shouldn't be on Twitter. Girl, I got a good one coming. No, you need to be Mike. Look, we got this situation we need to handle, you know. I bet I'm on the way, you know.
Okay.
you know, we're staying within the confines of communication. That needs to be something that needs to be brought up quickly. It doesn't need to fester. It doesn't need to go on for days upon days. You need to put that out there because that has some other implications too. You know.
But what if you're fearful? What if you're afraid to tell the person because you know it might bring something into the marriage or into the relationship? It might cause separation. It might cause divorce. It might cause, you know what I mean?
Just keep on with the relationship and don't say anything.
Don't move or live in fear because that'll block blessings of doors that you didn't open, you know. So don't ever think that, I'm scared to do this. Do it. Whatever happens was meant to happen, you know. If it was meant for y'all to break up, you're going to break up. I mean, hey, I'm sorry, but that's life. Don't go through life being scared, you know, to make choices.
So you shouldn't have that spirit of
Yeah,
fear.
like just, hey, whatever happens, happens. If you break up with that person, guess how many more there are? 1.2 billion.
Yeah, but okay, let's take it to another level.
Okay, but my question is, if you're talking about a couple that's married,
That's what I
did
was
they
gonna
have the
say,
baby
marriage.
before the marriage, or is it a baby that came after the marriage?
Rut-roll.
Somebody's not obeying, you know.
Whoa.
Kids out
The
of wedlock,
baby
you
came
know.
after the marriage.
Oh no!
After the marriage, you're
That's
married.
grounds for divorce.
You're
No.
in the relationship.
There's a problem with the relationship, and
You
somebody
should
has
be
to step
planning
out.
that,
of
you
the
know.
relationship.
Houston, there's a problem.
There's a big
Like,
problem
if
if you're
you're
stepping out
married-
of the relationship.
If you're married and you're pregnant, don't you plan that? Like,
No,
Right.
not always. Just
so you
because
don't
you're
use
married.
protection when you're married, you know?
No.
In 2016, I think you should, you know, but I mean,
No.
y'all got that one, you know. I don't know nothing about being married, you know, and all the protection. We use protection in my category.
Well, you should.
We buy big boxes of Trojans, you know.
And you should.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Use
Go to the
protection.
clinic and get the gift bag of condoms and stuff. You know.
A gift.
They give you condoms for free nowadays. Just go in there and have some
Well, that's
condoms.
good.
You should just do your due diligence in making sure that you are protected.
Yes.
Howsoever,
House to never. House to never.
Okay, let's change up a little bit.
Yes, please.
How long is too long to stay at a job that you hate?
Well, that depends.
It depends on the
money.
job.
But my thing is, I'm not going to apply for something that I know I'm not going to like. I mean, you can say, well, you may need that check. I already bet. Well, if you just need a check, go find a check in something that you like, whether it's a small check or a big check, you know?
Well, that's true, but let's just say you do make the decision for that particular job or career, and you have a management change.
Right.
Yeah, it might be the employees that you don't get along with. And if you can't get along with people, you
Ask to
hate
be
going to that
transferred,
job.
You know? Just ask to be transferred.
What if it's the manager and they're not going to transfer you?
Well,
They'll be like, no, you got to deal with me.
But you also realize, and this is the balance, you realize that it's an issue with the coworker or it's an issue with supervision or leadership. But you realize that Georgia Power and Atlanta Gas, they're not too concerned with that. You got to keep the lights on, you got to keep the gas flowing because you got children at the home or you may be taking care of somebody. So you have to think about that too. And that's the balance. It's like, when do I pull the plug? When do I, pull up the stopper and say, I've got to stop this. This is not working. It's unhealthy. I'm stressing. My blood pressure is going up.
And, yeah, because I feel it's going to depend on the situation. Because I've had two situations. One where I spoke to my manager because I was having a problem with my coworker, and I spoke to the manager or my supervisor, and I asked him if I could, switch to another department. And he was like, what did he say? Straight, no chaser, no.
Wow.
And I'm like, really? But I'm the one that's affected with the relationship with a
but
coworker.
you gotta realize,
but
though,
the reason he said it,
you gotta realize, him changing you means he has to change the whole schedule, and you're not gonna want to go sit and change the whole schedule just because these two can't get along. Why don't you get rid of these two and keep your schedule? Everyone can be replaced. That's why you deal with it.
No. But his reasoning was he's building his team.
Right.
And he felt that every person there was, fit that team, was a piece of puzzle to that team.
Right.
So that was his thinking. But my thinking was like, I can't do it.
Right.
I can't do it. So I need to make changes for me.
Right.
So that's
no such thing as
I want
in a black woman's dictionary. You can. Yes, we can.
And we did, Mr. Obama. But I did.
So you ended up leaving.
I did. I left. But I didn't leave because of that person. I'm not going to let somebody run me out of a position.
Right.
I left because that place where I was just a stepping stone for me to get to the next level. The next level came, and I took it.
And some places are just plain old toxic.
Yeah, you just don't want to be there.
They're a cesspool for confusion.
Yeah.
And so you have to you have to determine, okay, where do I cut my losses? Where do I just say it's either my way or the highway, so to speak,
So how long is too long before you tell someone that they hurt you?
The minute I feel the pain. The minute I feel the pain. Ow! That hurt me. We need to talk.
Well, I think
Going how you were hurt.
Now, y'all got to realize my perspective is for the most part in relationship marriage because I'm married 25 years.
Hey,
Girl, I'm so proud of you.
So my perspective is
That's your role model.
I can't keep it
and
down
it's
for
been
25
some ups and
years.
downs, some goods and some bads. But my thing is, you have to pick and choose your battles. So in marriage and in relationship, it's not. Sometimes it's not necessary to address it at that moment.
Not
you
at
know
that
what I mean?
true.
No.
You
That's
know,
true. Yeah.
because sometimes you just need to give that person time to cool off.
Right.
And then sometimes it's just like, I'm not even going to address it. I'll let it go. It just depends on the level of degree or pain that it caused you. You know what I mean? And even in that, I still think that sometimes, a lot of times, we have to give it time and say, do I really want to address this now? Because a lot of times, we don't hear each other.
Right.
In marriage and in relationships when we're upset. I'm yelling, you yelling. So we're not even hearing one another's pain. All we're hearing is pain. But we're not hearing the root of the pain. You understand?
Typical male.
But that comes with knowing your mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I have one. How
Okay.
long is too long to be in a relationship No, not to be in a relationship. To date someone without a commitment.
I say 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I give it 2 weeks. No, because look, you gotta listen.
Stop
You
it.
gotta listen. No.
You're embarrassing
I gotta hear this.
No, okay. So I'm gonna speak from my generation, from the 1990 to 1996.
You was born in 96. Well, you don't know nothing about 1990.
Can I have this?
Okay, you got 2 minutes. You
Okay.
got 2 minutes.
When you first meet someone, we're not gonna lie, you are going into our bed. So we meet, okay, cool. You may have other people on the side because you are single at that point in time, right? So let's say you meet someone and they catch your eye, so bet you don't want to cut off all of your options for one, and that one may not be that main one. So let's say you go 1 week, it's good and smooth. That next week, they may show their real colors, and they may say, well, I don't think I want to be involved with that. That's why you give them 2 weeks, That's why you put a week in the hole, so that you can,
But
That's a young person's perspective.
Because I gotta not call you for 3 days. That's already going into my 2 weeks.
Hello.
But it depends, and that'll vary.
Situation. Yeah.
That'll vary.
And you'll learn that when you grow up.
But see, my thing, I've never been in a situation where I didn't like the person that I was talking to. Yes, I may have switched people a few times, but every serious relationship that I've been in, I really genuinely did like that person when I started, and at the end, I love that person. I still do, just a different type of love,
Absolutely.
I don't have time to waste, because when you're wasting time, you're wasting money.
Okay, so well, then how long are you in a relationship before you say I love you?
That depends on that relationship and those people.
3 weeks.
1 week for me.
It may be.
I love you.
It may be a few months.
A few months?
No, because really, like,
And you haven't told me you love me in a few months?
A few as in 2. It may be 2 months, it may be 3 months. But
That's
really,
too long.
It depends on your connection, how much time you spend in that 2 month period. If you're around them every day for 2 weeks, and it's just, wow, man, I love you, man. You just everything I've been missing. But if you have that relationship where you both working, all right, well, we're going to set Thursday. We're going to go to IHOP. And then Thursday come, well, I just got some overtime. So next Thursday, well, you don't have that connection. You got to have time to build that connection, that box,
That box,
Okay.
like Papa Do's.
Okay.
That's
Alrighty
from a
then.
person's perspective.
Yeah.
But hey, it's his point of view, right?
It's his point.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But and that'll vary.
That'll vary. I think.
Yeah,
I
when
think
he
it'll
grows up,
vary.
yeah.
Absolutely.
How much older do I need
And
to
I think as you get older, you'll really recognize and understand that love is simply an emotion. Because when we understand that, how many times have you been in love? Or
Right.
fallen out of love? You know what I mean? How many times?
Right.
I loved my boyfriend in 6th grade. And then I loved the guy in 8th grade.
You love kissing
And then
your
I was
boyfriend.
marrying the guy in high school.
How about that?
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Right.
And so love is an emotion. It's always evolving. So to say that you love some person, just always understand and recognize that it's always evolving. Like you said, there's some people you've been in a relationship, you still love them.
Right.
Yeah, but
You're
in a
not with
different
them
way.
anymore, but you
Different
love them in a different way. And I think that that's very important in relationships. And going into relationships, you may very well love someone. And then you'll love someone else too. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. You know,
Right.
that's what we trying to get the men to understand. Ain't nothing wrong with loving
Just-
somebody.
just-
I love you now.
You know,
today.
man,
Just thinking about somebody that I love.
You can't be no man hearing your wife say, man, I still love that man.
And you can't be a woman.
you can't be a woman.
either.
Hold on. Do I need to put a photo out the closet? Like,
No.
no.
You don't voice those things. Some things are not to be
Yeah.
spoken
Right.
of.
Yeah.
Forever having secrets. That's trust. I can't trust you. You over there daydreaming.
We'll learn all that when we
Some
grow
stuff
up.
goes from the cradle to the grave.
Right. Some stuff you just gotta let it go. You gotta bury. You gotta put it up under there.
Cradle to the grave. And let it go, baby.
Well, that's awesome. We had a wonderful time. We
Yeah,
talked
we
about a lot of
did.
things. We talked about
Yes.
home-based businesses. We
Yes.
talked about young entrepreneurs, and we talked about how long is too long.
Yes.
But you know what? Remember that everything you heard and everything we said was our point of view.
Just what we say.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Have a great one.
Our ups, our downs, our tries and fails, the ins, the outs. Let's reach the clouds. Things that matter to us. Our point of view. Come, let's learn something new. You listen to me, I listen to you.